So today I wanted to pivot from our usual Destiny content with builds and weapon reviews and PvE goggles and stuff like that, and just take a step back and talk about the overall season so far, the narrative going on, and how goddamn awesome it is. Yeah, gonna spoil the whole video. I absolutely adore this episode. Heresy is pinnacle, peak seasonal content for Destiny as a whole, and already with Act 2 is going to be solidified as a top 3 seasonal experience from me. Honestly, the top 3 is kind of getting really crowded with the addition of Heresy. I won't name it or rank it, but yeah, I really love this. But before we dive into the video and talk about a bunch of stuff, just want to say, if you guys enjoy the content and want more from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when I do drop more content. Now, for one, the narrative is really good. It seems that with anything Hive, Bungie just nails. It's kind of, I don't recall the last time they have missed with a Hive season or a Hive moment. Maybe the Warmind DLC to a degree, but even then, like, Bungie has really found a nice strive with the storytelling of the Hive, and clearly when it comes to the impact in the universe and kind of the pantheon and just how the world works in Destiny, when they tell the story about the Hive, it tends to move the overarching narrative as a whole. When it came to the Witch Queen, we got the introduction of the Witness and the fact that the Witness lied to the Hive, and that Savathun became a guardian by getting light. A lot of revelations were done there. And then we fast forward now into Heresy. We have Oryx and Echo of Navigation, which is adding a lot of context to the lore of Oryx, the Books of Sorrows, and all this crazy stuff. And on top of that, we're talking about the Deep. The name drop of the Winnower is just getting more and more transparent. This is something that has been dropped, especially recently in the lore, and even by the Witness himself in the Salvation's Edge raid, where he claims, "You call me the Winnower? I am not the Winnower. I am the first knife." Crazy stuff here. And Heresy is adding to that massive power that's going on. Now, for one, I do want to say, if you ever want to judge the story going on in Destiny, take a look at My Name is Bife's channel, and as you can tell, he is absolutely eating up this season. I think Bife is a good little example to show that Bungie is absolutely cooking with the narrative. Now, let's go into a little bit of theory right now when it comes to some of the story stuff, with the fact that there is a presence in the Deep that is rivaling the Winnower's power and blocking Oryx's connection to the Winnower in some degree. It's crazy. Bife went on a video talking about that, and I do think that this is a moment of, oh shit, the next big baddie in Destiny might not be the Winnower. It might be whatever the hell this thing is, because it's rivaling and moving things in the Deep that only the Winnower should be able to do. This is based off of the words of Oryx. This is some serious shit. This is like just as serious as like the Witness just popping in and, oh, that is what we should fear. When this will happen, I do not know. I don't think Act 2 is not concluding yet. It will conclude next week. I don't think we will get that revelation until the end of Act 3, and I think it will only be a name. This, similar to how they treated Savathun, the Witch Queen, and teased that name for a little bit. I think it's just going to be a name that we're going to have floating out there, ready to reveal itself when it's ready to reveal itself. But I'll be honest, this has left me in a particular window where I kind of hope that Rook somehow made it back and he's making a power play. I have my doubts. Rook has technically, the remains has been blown up. But if Bungie was to retcon one thing in its long list of boss battles and things like that, god damn it, how many times have we seen villains come back in Destiny over and over and over, whether it's a strike, whether it's a raid boss, whatever it may be. I think Rook is the one raid boss I truly want to see come back and play a longer role. We kind of saw Nezarec potentially come back, or on the verge of coming back in Revenant. That was quickly squashed, unfortunately. I was actually disappointed by that. But if Rook was the one making the power grab, moving things and making it known that he is rivaling the Winnower's power, I think that would be awesome, because it's Rook and he has one of the coolest voices ever. Like, I could literally hear him say the upended all day, ASMR style. Rook Daddy is a thing.
Not kings, not gods, disciples, prophets. savior's serving existence, an undying purpose, a privilege.
So the narrative stuff, the lore stuff, everything is just moving in an insane direction that has been incredibly positive. But I will say, one thing that would really hurt the lore of Destiny and the story being told is the format it's being told in and the gameplay loop we are experiencing it in with the activities. I do think the Nether is one of the strongest activities Bungie has ever put out for seasonal content. On the other hand, Court of Blades, I think is fairly fun and solid, but I do think that it does need reworking if they were to do something like this in a further seasonal activity update. It's just something that I don't know how I feel about it. It's the first of its kind, I guess you could say, for Bungie, so I'll give them slack there. But both activities are incredible. The Nether is really awesome, and the loot is worth the chase and feels valuable. Heresy is showing a lot of the early signs of some changes to come with seasonal content and hopefully the expansion in a grander sense. I do think that the unfortunate part about Revenant and Echoes was it was just too early for Bungie to showcase any changes they were planning on making or, gauging from the community to implement. And Heresy is a really strong introduction and first step into some of that loop stuff. I like how they've been telling the story. It feels a little bit more organic. Is it perfect? Is it completely shaping the mold of what we experienced before? Not necessarily, but everything flows a lot better with more thought on, hey, I don't want to read text. I want to hear things. I want to move around. I want to interact with the world in cool ways. Like this week, we were on the moon in an area that, again, I forget what it's called, but it's notorious in D1 patrol areas. It felt cool being in that environment of the moon and making the moon feel like it's part of the story. I don't want to load into an instance. I like loading at the free world and experiencing these things. But yeah, Heresy Act 2 is crushing it. And I think that is an incredible thing. Hopefully we get more of this with the next expansions and seasonal content. Bungie, whenever it comes to stuff with the Vex, the Fallen, the Cabal, whatever you want to do there, look over at the Hive and take notes. Because you got the Hive down to a T. I want to see the Cabal down to a T. The Fallen have fallen off the rails a little bit, even though I feel like they shouldn't have, because Mithrax and Ido are such strong characters, even Aramis to an extent. Shake it up there and really nail it down. And then the Vex, they're trying with the Vex. I thought that they had a good template to start Echoes. It just didn't deliver on the closing side of things. But yeah, Bungie, you're crushing it with Heresy. I'm absolutely loving this episode. It's by far the most playing time I have put into the game since the Final Shape expansion. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. But in general, that's the video. Wanted to change things up and have a little bit of fun with it. Curious to hear what you guys have to say on Heresy and how you guys are feeling. I did put out a poll, and generally a lot of people are liking it or loving it. Some people, think it's fine to an extent, but not many people said it was bad. And I know the poll wasn't done by the masses, but either way, really good stuff. Leave your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed, found this video informative, be sure to drop this video a like, helps with the video a ton. And of course, for more content for myself, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when I do drop more content. With that being said, hope you guys have a good one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.